Alright, so today I'm going to be going over with you whether or not you should be selling high ticket or low ticket items. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be sharing with you whether or not you should be choosing high ticket or low ticket items, which is the best for your situation. If you're new to this channel, go ahead and hit the like, comment, or subscribe button. So high ticket versus low ticket. It's like, every time someone's starting a new store, it's one of the questions you're gonna come up with. And what are the strengths and weaknesses of each of those types of items, and what's right for you. So high ticket versus low ticket. High ticket, it's gonna be depending on what you're selling. So it could be considered a $50 item, a $30 item, a $100 item, a $1,000 item is considered high ticket depending on where you're coming from. And then low tickets could be $10 or less, $5, $1, whatever. In general, most people, especially for AliExpress, they're going to be selling a lot of low ticket items because the price point is low enough that people can make like impulse buys. So in general, you're going to be selling little trinkets here and there, and that's what people usually go into because they're afraid of selling high ticket items. Because high ticket items, you're not going to spend $100 on a whim. You're going to be like, okay, this item I like, it looks interesting, I'm just going to buy it for $100 and we'll see what happens. And generally that's not going to happen. And so with low ticket items, generally what happens is you have to sell a lot of low ticket items in order for you to make that up. So for $1,000 a day, how many $10 products do you need to sell in order to make $1,000 a day in sales? 100 of them, making 100 different orders. That means on Facebook advertising, you need to be targeting a lot of people, and it needs to convert at a good rate in order for you to get that $1,000, 100 sales. Versus if you're selling something for $25 or $50, or those types of items, how many do you need to make $1,000? And with a $25 item, you need 40 orders, so more than half of a $10 item. And if you're selling a $50 item, then you only need to make 20 sales. And that's the great thing about having high ticket items. Usually you don't have to sell as much, and the good thing about it is that you can pay usually at a higher CPM, meaning cost per mil, meaning your advertising cost. You can spend more per customer, because generally high ticket items, you're gonna have a lot more room for margins, because low ticket items, you're gonna buy it at a certain price, maybe $2, $3 or plus shipping, and then you're selling it for $10. So that margin is quite low, but you're trying to make it up with volume. Versus with high ticket items, there is a lot more room for you to mark up your price if that item has a high perceived value. So if you're buying it for $15, $20 and you're marking it up for $50, then your margin, your ability to spend to acquire that customer goes up as well. And in general, just from drop shipping, the cheaper the item, usually the less quality it's gonna be. And then on the other side, if you're paying for something more that costs more at cost, then generally it's gonna be better quality as well. Not always the case with a low ticket and a high ticket item, but as a trend, as an average, that's how generally things go. And the other thing that also comes into mind is, if you're selling a bunch of these little trinkets, a little small things, I've done it, I've sold a bunch of those things, but usually you cannot build a brand around that, because that little item, it doesn't have a lot of inherent quality to it, and therefore whenever you're selling hundreds and hundreds of the items, it's just like you're becoming just like let's say like a Walmart, and that you're just selling it based off of price. Whereas a high ticket item, you're gonna need to sell it based on your brand, perceived value. So whenever they look at everything on your store, they're gonna say, you know, whether or not that store looks like, you know, I want to buy from it. Versus a really small purchase, like $10, $15, people aren't going to scrutinize your store as heavily because, you know, it's just $10. $10 is like, you know, you just pull it out and you're done with it. Whereas like a $40, $50 item, you're going to need to scrutinize it more. Another issue is with high ticket items. Then if you have any issues with refunds, you need to be very careful because, you know, because the item costs so much, then therefore you need to be more careful about your refunds, because if you're having to refund them and they're having to ship it back to you, you're gonna have to eat those costs as well. Versus a low ticket item, you know, it might only cost a couple bucks to refund, so it's not that big of a deal. All right, leave in the comments below if you have any questions. I'm here for you guys every day. Thanks.